Hello Booktube, this is Kelly and my channel is Books I'm Not Reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I thought I would do a quick quarterly wrap-up. I'm not expecting to finish anything else before the month of June is over. And I want to talk to you about my TBR for the third quarter of the year. It's a very short TBR, but it does involve asking all of you a question, so please stick around for that. I did pretty well with my TBR for my second quarter. Many of these books I have already made videos about, so I'm not going to talk about them here. Of course, as part of the Betsy Tacy series, Betsy in Spite of Herself, Betsy in Spite of Herself, Betsy Was Junior, and Betsy and Joe. Those are all separate videos. Then with Medline from Made with Books, we read Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. Brilliant. That was great. And with Joe Smith, I read Charles Dickens' The Old Curiosity Shop, which I loved reading with Joe. And it was maybe not my favorite Dickens, but it's still good. I did read this ancient copy of The Fur Person. It doesn't take very long to read it. It's a strange little book. I mean, there's illustrations in it. Let's see if I can... Here's the cat. So, I'm going to take this to a free library, and hopefully someone who will enjoy it more will find it. So, then I read a collection of Jane Austen, a novella and two unfinished works, Lady Susan, The Watsons, and Sanditon. I didn't really like The Watsons and Sanditon, but I found Lady Susan just phenomenal. So those of you who are putting your Jane Austen July TBR together, Lady Susan would be definitely on my list. Like, it's so short, and it's just so filled with that Austen, like, really, really sharp wit. But because it's a smaller work, it's fine. It's manageable. And the fact that she wrote it, I think she was 19 or 20. Like, just, yeah, so good. I loved Lady Susan, and I will definitely be rereading that in the future. And most recently, I read The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. This was a buddy read with Angie from Literary Labors, and I haven't heard from Angie, so I don't know if her Voxer isn't working or what else. I saw one of her vlogs, and she was reading so much. I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyway, I have to get this back to the library, and I really, really enjoyed this. I got a real kick out of it. Of course, with Twain, there's always a, there, of course, is some racist language and, stereotypes of certain kinds of people, but I think that has more to do with, Twain writing about a specific time, and how people would have spoken then. I don't know. There was one scene in it that I found very unbelievable, but the rest of it, I just thought Tom was just such a kick. I got great pleasure from reading this book, so I'm so glad I read it. And Angie, I hope to hear from you, and I hope you're okay. So, finally, I'm hoping by the 4th of July. That's kind of my goal. By the 4th of July, I hope to have read Leaves of Grass. This is part of Poetry for Beginners, and so I'm sure you'll be seeing other Whitman videos on BookTube, but I just just haven't gotten to this one. So anyway, so we'll see if I can sneak it in or get it done quickly in the third quarter. And so the books that were on my TBR for the second quarter that I did not get to, I still did not pick up Raymond Carver's Where I'm Calling From. I'm thinking about just dividing this into sections, and I read so many stories every quarter or something like that, because clearly just having it out is not working. And the other one I didn't get to was Barrytown by Frederick Bachman. And now it's summer, and so this one is going to go on the back burner. And we'll try it again in the winter, when the snow flies again. So for my third quarter TBR, it's very short at the moment because, well, for one thing, I do really, really want to participate in Jane Austen July, so I'm hoping that I can make that happen. I have a kitty down here. I'm hoping that I will be able to do that, and that, of course, would be a separate video. But the thing that came in from the library this week was The Overstory by Richard Powers. So this won the Pulitzer Prize this year, which means I need to read it before the year is out. And I think this could take up a good portion of July. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how fast it reads. If you've read this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed it, if not, that kind of thing. So I've heard lots of great things about it. Okay, so the second book on my TBR for the third quarter involves you all. So Shaketube will be happening in September, and I do have kind of a slight inside track in that I live with one of the moderators and I'm friends with another one. And Steve, of course, I love you, but you haven't told us what plays you're picking for Shaketube yet. So anyway, I don't want to spoil their videos as far as what they plan on reading and discussing during Shaketube. But I thought it might, I'm wondering if anyone would be interested in participating in reading this with me. This is called Women of Will: The Remarkable Evolution of Shakespeare's Female Characters, and it's by Tina Packer. I'm just going to read you the back of the book here really quick. So, Women of Will is a fierce and funny exploration of Shakespeare's portrayal of the feminine. Tina Packer, one of our foremost Shakespeare experts, shows that he began in his early comedies by writing women as shrews to be tamed or as sweet little things with no independence of thought. The women of the history plays are much more interesting, beginning with Joan of Arc. Then, with the extraordinary Juliet, there is a dramatic shift. Suddenly, Shakespeare's women have depth, motivation, and an understanding of life more than equal to that of the men. As he ceases to make his women predictable characters and starts writing them from the inside, they become dimensional, spirited, spiritual, active, and sexual as any of his male characters. Wondering if Shakespeare had fallen in love, Packer considers with whom and what she may have been like. The author observes that from Juliet on, Shakespeare's characters demonstrate that when women and men are equal in status and passion, they can and do change the world. Doesn't that sound like a great book? Jason got this for me. So, I'm just wondering if, in conjunction with reading Shakespeare's plays for Shaketube, if we would like to do a read-along of this book. And if not, it's totally fine. I have a few very, very special ladies on BookTube who are going to do a buddy read of this with me. So, but I thought it would be fun to do something more public and let people create content and talk about this. So it's divided into 5 acts. So we would read the first 2 acts the first week of September, and then go on from there. Meaning we should be able to finish it up by the end of the month. As you can see, it's not a super long book. But that way, that would maybe give us time to think about things a little bit more, and it would be fun to see the overlap in the plays that we're reading, how the female characters are portrayed, and what Tina Packer has to say about them. So if you are up for this, if you would like to participate in a read-along of Women of Will, please let me know in the comment section. I would really, I just think it'd be fun, right? So we have 3 male moderators, and BookTube is dominated by women. Like, let's do this. So let me know what you think. And like I said, if you all are like, no, I'm out, it's totally fine, because I'm still going to read it with some of my favorite people on BookTube. All right. I love you guys. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you very soon. Bye.